Obviously, I mean, I learned a lot from Stephen Prokopov, who was, who hired me to be, the part-time, all-purpose person at the ICA in Philadelphia. And Steve was really, I mean, he had a very interesting eye. He was really good at installing exhibitions. And one of the things that I feel is so important for curators to know how to do is to know how to really that an exhibition is a kinesthetic experience. And so a curator, I feel, really needs to know how to lay a show out in space and figure out how a viewer is going to experience the exhibition as they walk through it in a physical kind of way. So I feel that those were things I especially learned from Steve. The other thing I learned from Steve was something he didn't like doing, is he didn't like doing budgets. And someone needed to do the budget, and I was really lucky that one of the seasoned administrators from the Department of Landscape Architecture at Penn was willing to take me under her wing and show me how to do a purchase order, show me how to get a check deposited, and how to make up a blue book, which you really need to get your budget approved. And I feel that because of that experience of knowing how to do budgets, that I actually got really good at it. And that knowing, because I'm also a big believer that you can never be in debt, so particularly if you're a nonprofit institution. And so the fact that the Miami Art Museum came in on time and on budget, even though I wasn't there to the very last minute, I feel that a lot of the work we did on my watch really set the stage for that to happen. I think of board members that I've known who've been especially, really helpful, and I learned a lot from, in Philadelphia, sort of Lally Lloyd, the founder of ICA, and Daniel W. Dietrich, who was, an amazingly thoughtful collector in someone who understood how to be a really good trustee. And at the Neuberger Museum, I was very lucky to work closely with Roy Neuberger, who was just amazingly supportive of me as director, and another wonderful trustee named Milton Rosenthal, who at the time was head of the Engelhart Mineral Company, and had been one of the American representatives to the Marshall Plan, but was one of the great, thoughtful, diplomatic people of all time. Just an amazingly thoughtful person. And in Miami, I was lucky to work with Dave Lawrence and Laurie Farrell. For museum people, early on, I was fascinated by the work. I never met him, but I was fascinated by the work of Wilhelm Sandberg. And Sandberg had been the director of the Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam after World War II. And by training, he was a graphic designer. But he was the one who really wanted the museums, the idea of painting the walls white, of having really good signage and things for children. And I really also admired Pontus Hultén, who did the same sort of thing at the Moderna Museet in Stockholm. And closer to home, and somebody who I feel really was a mentor to me, was Milton no, just give me 1 minute. Martin Friedman from the Walker Arts Center. I mean, when he was director of the Walker Arts Center, I mean, it was a very, very lively place with wonderfully interesting shows, really good programming, and a sense of adventure, but also a sense of being very welcoming. So I realized that those were all people that I looked to because I really liked the atmosphere of the museums that they were running, even though I didn't personally know them, other than in the case of Martin, I did know.